Welcome into the studio with us this morning, Indiana County District Attorney Bob Manzi, Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl. Our visit presented by Marcus and Mack, voted Best Law Firm and Best Personal Injury Lawyer 3 years in a row on the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Todd.
It's good to have you both with us. Bob, you want to pull that up a little bit there? A little bit. Otherwise, we're talking to your coat pocket, and that's probably not a good thing. There we go. There we go. Hey, this was a wonderful event that was held over the weekend, and I was reading the release again, and the encouragement is that we do something like this every year. On our news cycle today, people can read about this appreciation event. From the two of you and your perspective, how special was this night?
Well, it was incredible, and it was a great opportunity for us to gather as law enforcement community, as an entire law enforcement community for Indiana County. And the event actually took place on September 24th, and so we were showing appreciation for the generous donors that made that event possible for us. So the event that we're talking about again is a law enforcement appreciation event that took place on September 24th at the Indiana Country Club, and it was a special night, I think, for everybody. Certainly a unique night.
Yeah, and it really highlighted the cooperative atmosphere of various police agencies, law enforcement agencies, and the district attorney's office. We watch the show Law and Order, and we see that there is a wonderful relationship between those two different aspects of law enforcement, and they fix every case in an hour. I don't know what goes on with you guys that it takes more than a day, but Mr. Manzi, it really is a great, I don't know if you want to say system by which we operate, because I'm sure there's room for improvement always, but it's a great way to see the way the intermeshing of these two aspects of law enforcement protect the public.
I think our system's a great system, and the partnership that my office has with Chief Schawl's department and all the police departments in the county, I think it's a fantastic system because our goal is community protection. Our goal is getting it right. And throughout that process, we take a great deal of time and effort to investigate cases, to determine what the facts are so that proper cases are charged and proper convictions are found. There's a great deal of time and a wild number of cases where, we determine there's not enough evidence to charge a crime, or we have the wrong person before charging. And I think it's a great system because our goal is the truth. So that partnership that we have and really showing the appreciation for all the men and women that are out there day and night working these cases was very important to me, and I know it was very important to all the chiefs and Chief Schawl.
You and I have talked before about how meticulous an investigation must be. It really starts with the police, usually the first on the scene when something has occurred. And Chief Schawl, your police officers have to know how to preserve evidence, how to discover evidence, and how to keep that chain of evidence perfectly pristine for prosecutors to come in.
Yeah, so for sure, officers all over the country, really, that's our responsibility. We send our men and women into dangerous situations, into chaotic situations, into situations where there are going to be charges filed, or there's a medical emergency, or there's some type of concern. And so, that's our task. Not only do we have to manage the situation, but we have to make sure that everything that we touch, everything that gets touched, everything that could be used to successfully prosecute someone that's committed a crime be handled appropriately. And so, not only are we mitigating what's happening in that moment, but we're also preserving it so that the district attorney and his office has a case that they can prosecute, and so that we can, get dangerous folks or criminals off the street.
And there's no detail too minute, too tiny.
There's not. We learn that all the time. It takes special people to do what the officers do across the Commonwealth in Indiana County, and certainly special training. So that's why a night like on September 24th was a great opportunity to have a shared experience that was positive. And, I don't think it's a shock to anyone listening or to anyone in this room that not every police action or not every court case is a positive experience for those who are tasked with prosecuting it or collecting the evidence from it or being the first responder on scene to something very tragic. So the idea of our event on the 24th, and again, this is a countywide event. I'm honored and humbled to be representing the police effort, but certainly I'm not the only chief that was involved in this event, and certainly Indiana Borough was not the only department. Everyone was involved, and because all of us are doing a very difficult job, and having a positive shared experience is important because we have a lot of shared negative experiences, and things can be a bit divisive and dangerous. And so for us to be able to have an event that not only included officers, but also included their family members and also included, the prosecutors and their family members, it was an important experience, I think, that is worthy of duplicating. And really the rationale behind it is healthy families create healthy officers that create healthy communities. Because if any one of those are unhealthy, then it creates a truly negative experience. So we wanted to care for both families and officers so that the end result can be a very positive community experience where we can all thrive. So wellness all around, and to do that, we had a shared message, and we asked some of our partners if they could participate with us, because the fact of the matter is that department budgets are tight, and we don't always do as well as our private sector partners who can turn a profit perhaps in their business to provide employees with positive shared experiences outside of the workplace. So we leveraged a few great relationships I think the district attorney is going to talk about, and we were able to pull off an event that it was memorable, and I think it will be memorable into the future.
Yeah, Bob, we might think that when you get a bunch of police officers and some folks from the prosecution side together, it's all shop talk. But that family aspect of it coming in really points out that, as Chief Schawl said, it's more than that, and it's all centered around that family atmosphere that the law enforcement community enjoys.
It absolutely is. I mean, I know our wives were there, and there was a lot of loved ones at that event. And I think they were excited to have an opportunity to see people from work, from their spouse and their loved ones' work, where it wasn't a tragedy. It wasn't a difficult situation. It wasn't a 2:00 in the morning call to go handle a very serious situation.
Yeah.
It was a night to get dressed up. It was a night to go out. Really not talk about work, talk about the kids, talk about vacations, talk about fun activities. Having that opportunity to really share in each other's time in a very positive, very relaxed way. And I think that the officers afterwards, we really weren't sure how it was going to be received, how it was going to be looked at. I think throughout everyone who was there, great time. They had items that they suggested for next year. They were looking forward to next year already. Mm-hmm. So I think it's an event that we hope to carry forward. I know we have a lot of energy behind it, carrying it forward. And as Chief Schawl said, it's a situation where we're not businesses. We're government entities. So we're very concerned about the money we're spending because we're spending taxpayer dollars. So Chief Schawl and I and some of the other chiefs reached out to members of the community to ask for sponsors for this. And as a first-time event, we really didn't reach out to a lot of folks. We wanted to see how the first year went. And within 5 days, we had raised all the money necessary for this event.
They stepped up.
And it's because this community truly supports law enforcement. You might have one or two people who like to smash the keyboard online and say things, but truly we know this community supports law enforcement. And if I can just kind of talk about some of our major sponsors, Colonial Motors was our gold sponsor. First call instantly. We were there. In First Bank was our silver sponsor. S&T Bank, Delaney Motors, IRMC Hospital, Marion Center Bank, all our bronze sponsors. We had other sponsors that helped out in various ways. The Flower Gallery, Terry Sabo, Copies Plus, T&R Signs and Designs, the Indiana Country Club, and the Veterans Home of New Florence. Within 5 days, we had enough to take 100 members of law enforcement and their loved ones to have a night where they could relax, let their hair down a little bit, enjoy each other's company, and really carry forward. I hope going home knowing that they are appreciated by everyone in this community.
Yeah, it really is a recognition by the towns involved as a whole and across the county that this is a really, really difficult job. that is done, and it's difficult emotionally, physically. There's danger involved, and people appreciate that there are people who are willing to do that. And Chief, of course, your police force and various police forces of all of these communities coming together to ensure public safety, which is what it's all about.
That's it. We have great partners: the Sheriff's Department, IUP Police Department, Pennsylvania State Police, Blairsville, Homer City, Salzburg, Clymer, Cherry Tree. These are all dedicated men and women. The District Attorney's Office. We're all striving for community success, and so it was nice to be able to deliver a small piece of success to everyone in a non law enforcement setting. And so we're just very appreciative. We had a world-renowned speaker join us at our event. His name is Paul Butler. He presents at major law enforcement conferences. But this truly was an effort. It was a wellness effort. But we all know that recruitment and retention, or we've all heard that recruitment and retention in law enforcement has been a difficult go. And so we want to make sure that we're emphasizing the right things. We want to make sure that not only are we setting up our officers for success, but we're setting up their families for success, that we ourselves are talking about positive things and, again, sharing positive experiences, because the healthier we all are, again, the healthier we can maintain our community. And it doesn't take someone to look far beyond the edge of their nose to think that if, there's something amiss in our family dynamic, perhaps we're not performing at our highest level when we get into an office setting or in a work setting. And then that shows sometimes. And so, because, as we said earlier, sometimes the evidence is so minute that, it does take a certain amount. It always takes a certain amount of attention and due diligence. And, so again, building this dynamic out to say, you are appreciated. We want you to come to work. We know you're going to do difficult things. We know you're going to do terrible things, but we need you to be okay. We need your family to be okay. We want to talk about what leadership and family dynamic in a police, in a law enforcement setting looks like, and how we can best serve our community. So, through my lens, this is a robust and complete way to assure community well-being through the people who are dedicated full-time to serving that cause.
And of course, Mr. Manzi, coming during Thanksgiving week, it's the best time to talk about it, isn't it?
It's a great time. I was driving my daughter to school this morning and listening to your show and talking about this is a great week to show gratitude. So we had an opportunity to show our appreciation for all the men and women in law enforcement at the event. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to thank our sponsors and show gratitude, because they're the ones that help make this happen. And we want to also give gratitude to you and your staff for everything you do for the community and making sure that message gets out to all your listeners. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate that very, very much, and appreciate both of you coming in to visit with us this morning about it, too.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. 25 minutes after 8 o'clock, Josh in the newsroom coming up. Speaking of emergencies, we had an accident on Chestnut Street this morning, and that street now is clear for travel once again, but please do be cautious wherever it is that you're going today. Here's Boomer Sports.